In the Lee family, he was the brilliant son, and I was just the shadow he cast. They didn't adopt me out of kindness. They adopted me for a purpose. My entire childhood was spent in silence, taking the blame for his mistakes, cheering for his triumphs from the sidelines, and making sure his light shone as brightly as possible. His death was sudden, a late-night car crash that shattered the cold, glass-and-steel silence of our mansion. I thought my purpose was over. What good is a shadow without the person who casts it? I expected to be thrown away. Instead, Chairman Lee summoned me to his study. The room smelled of old money and even older ambition. "The world cannot know our sun has set," he told me, his voice completely empty of grief. "Our interests, our contracts, our legacy require his face. You will become that face." It wasn't a request. I was to step into the blinding light I had always hidden from. I had to learn Chen's mannerisms, perfect his signature, and finish the philanthropic projects he'd started. The final command was the most shocking of all. "You will solidify the alliance with the An family. You and An Lee will present a united front." It wasn't a marriage, it was a merger. To refuse meant being erased. When I first met An Lee at a forced public event, she was like a polished statue. Her eyes held no sadness, only a sharp, watchful intelligence that matched my own survival instincts. We were two ghosts, shackled to a dead man's legacy. Becoming Chen was a constant performance. I spent hours studying holographic recordings of his speeches, practicing the arrogant way he tilted his head, and learning to mimic his sharp, cutting humor. I worked late into the night in his office, pushing forward a green energy project he had used more for public relations than for any real passion. It was there, hidden deep within, encrypted folders behind financial reports for his so-called philanthropy, that I found the first crack in the perfect portrait. Irregular payments, shell companies, and secret messages exchanged with figures from the city's criminal underworld. The brilliant heir wasn't just a jerk. He was involved in something dangerous and corrupt. My next discovery hit closer to home. I got my hands on Chun's smartwatch, recovered from the crash. The data was damaged, but I managed to restore a final location ping. It wasn't from the winding mountain road where his car was found. It was from a remote dockyard warehouse, logged just an hour before the accident. He wasn't alone that night. He had been desperate. I kept this to myself, but An Lee noticed the change in me. During another one of our painfully scripted dinners, our eyes met. Later that night, a secure, untraceable message appeared on my phone. It just said, "The warehouse. I know of it." In that moment, our fake alliance became a real pact. Together, we started piecing together the truth. It was a story of blackmail and a deal that had gone terribly wrong. The crash wasn't an accident. Someone had wiped a ledger clean with fire and twisted metal. We knew we were being watched. The family had eyes and ears everywhere. If we went to the police or made a direct accusation, we would simply disappear. So we had to use the very role they forced on me as our weapon. During a secret meeting in a botanical garden, with the sound of a fountain covering our words, An Lee whispered, "We don't just run. We make their world impossible to hold on to." Using Chen's authority and my detailed knowledge of his habits, we began a delicate operation. I started moving his money, with An Lee's financial genius guiding me. We slowly cut off the corrupt deals we'd uncovered, creating a domino effect of financial pressure on the real culprits. Business rival Chen had double-crossed Manhwa, as we suspected, a complicit uncle within the Lee family itself. Our final move was a grand distraction. The night of the gala, celebrating the completion of Chen's green energy project, was our stage. As the city's elite gathered, we triggered a massive data leak. Encrypted files were sent anonymously to major news outlets, exposing the Lee family's corporate fraud and their ties to criminal organizations. As the first news alerts started pinging on every phone in that glittering ballroom, chaos erupted. But by then, we were already gone. We used the family's own secret escape route from the penthouse, a path designed for emergencies, now our path to freedom. For weeks, the headlines were filled with the story of the Lee family's spectacular fall from grace. 2 figures were briefly mentioned in the reports, presumed to be victims of the chaos, their fates unknown. Far across an ocean, in a city bathed in a new light, 2 partners are finalizing the paperwork for their own Kampaya genuine green technology firm. The office is small, sunlit, and completely theirs. Ann Lee places a document in front of me with a small, knowing smile. I pick up a pen. It's not the one designed to forge a dead man's signature. It's one I bought for myself. I sign the paper, not with Chen's flashy scrawl, but with my own name, Liang, for the very first time. The shadow is gone. Here, we are both real, both in the light, writing a future built not on lies and obligation, but on the truth we fought for and the freedom we claimed, together.